So, first of all, I'd like to apologize for having to even put this item on the agenda. I'm angry that it's needed to do this. We spoke earlier, we have serious problems we need to address. We all took an oath to defend the Constitution, which is when we were sworn in. My item is absolutely absurd, just as the next item is absurd and a waste of time.
Would you yield the floor for a moment?
Yeah.
So this question applies to both items, which is, what does this have to do with the budget or homelessness or any of the other things that we need to be focused on?
That's an excellent question. It doesn't. That was the point of this item, was to create a fine point for the fact that the business of the city is done at the last item. This next item is performative. This item is performative, and it's absolutely, completely ridiculous. You know, I'm going to continue working to try to find solutions to these budget deficits that actually affect the day-to-day of residents instead of national issues or silly issues like this. You know, call me when you guys are ready to be serious and govern. I'm going home. I withdraw this item.
Please do.
Okay. All right.
Here, let me.
Councilmember Strickland.
Well, I'd like to address this item and just say, you know, we have been doing the budget. We have been doing the business. Hold on. We have been doing the business of the people. In fact, we put together. We were, I believe, 30 officers, 28 officers down, and we did a remarkable job at putting forward a proposal to give the tools that our law enforcement needs to keep Huntington Beach safe. We also did a fire contract that we did the same to make sure in Huntington Beach public safety is the #1 priority. We just got recognition, and Oceanside and other cities in San Diego are coming to Huntington Beach to look at what we've done in homelessness, and we're one of the few cities where homelessness has actually gone down, not up. And by the way, not spending the billions and trillions of dollars that Governor Newsom's done on trying to solve the problem for the last 10 years, and even though he's spending enormous amounts of money, hasn't seen the results that we've seen here in Huntington Beach. We just did a budget, and as I pointed out last year, we faced a $7 million out-year budget that we would have faced this year if we didn't act at the time. And there was folks on this dais who did not vote to support a budget that if that budget did not pass, we would have a massive deficit today. So I'm glad we were serious last year in passing a budget, and then we just now passed a budget that's good for the people of Huntington Beach. And now we also just got done with Visit HB and the T-bid that will help grow our economy here in Huntington Beach. So for those who think that we're not serious, look, again, homelessness is down where most of everybody else is up with spending less money. We did a police contract and fire contract that made sure that we always make sure that public safety is the #1 priority in Huntington Beach so people can feel safe as they visit here. And I would like to end with, yes, we saved the air show. The air show provides over $100 million to our local economy, over $70 million directly to our economy. And if it was for those 3 people who walked out, we wouldn't have an air show and we wouldn't have that kind of economic vitality here in Huntington Beach. So let them leave, because quite frankly, we would actually get more done with 4 members than the 7 that's currently on this body.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Okay, moving on to the last item. Mayor Pro Tem Pat, present your item.
Oh, I think it's perfect.
Pat Burns.
Their little theatrics and stuff is just exactly their little drama. Suddenly they're concerned about the budget when they let in Amazon not paying taxes, and then they spent the money on Elon and all that other stuff, and now it's obviously a campaign year, and I can guarantee you they're self-service and not community service. It's just typical. They run out before the job is done. But on to my statement, my issue. This affirmation of the city of Huntington Beach is to show our commitment and respect for the Constitution of the United States of America. The Constitution and its amendments are the foundation of our republic, securing each person the rights to live and work freely without government overreach and unreasonable restriction from any entity. These freedoms have rarely been challenged in our country as they have been recently and called into question. From a presidential candidate defending himself from unreasonable charges in court to a city council candidate being attacked by an incumbent who wormed his way onto the council, but he's attacking him through lawfare and for speaking out against him. Then there's the constant attack on our Second Amendment by our state that ignores our federal laws and claims to be a sanctuary state. This weakens local control. It also weakens our whole society, letting people in, free phones, free food, free medical, free housing, and that's all at taxpayers' expense. Laws are being made to weaken the laws that protect those of law-abiding citizens and businesses, such as the Second Amendment laws that's constantly under attack by Newsom and his friends, or the COVID-19 restrictions, which was probably another trial run to try to control us. But while other laws are being ignored by prosecutors or weakened on behalf of enabling criminals to be even more brazen or violent. We've all seen it. We've seen it on the TV. We've seen how these prosecutors aren't even supposed to choose and pick which laws they enforce or prosecute. They're just supposed to prosecute the ones that get brought before them. With open borders enabled, our federal government or illegal immigration encouraged by our governor at the taxpayer's expense, the laws are not being enforced by our government equally or rationally. All the while, those that speak out often get attacked for or suppressed from speaking out freely. This is barely scratching the surface of the infringements being committed against the citizens of our state and country. This is a warning of a gross deterioration of our republic and of our beloved freedoms. The Constitution and amendments are the foundation of our republic, securing each person the right to live and work freely without government overreach or unreasonable restriction from any entity. We should all cherish our freedom to speak our views, especially to our government, and we should be empowered to defend ourselves from attacks on our granted freedom. The recommended action is for the City of Huntington Beach City Council affirms and communicates our commitment and respect for the Constitution of the United States of America with special recognition that Huntington Beach is a First and Second Amendment friendly city. I just got to add, some of this came at the request of a concerned resident. We had a meeting with her and she expressed some of her concerns. It shouldn't matter if you're a conservative or liberal, Republican or Democrat, right, left. This should be a bipartisan issue, which was turned into some theatrical act of stupidity. This should be a bipartisan issue of everyone being treated equally, not abusing position of power, lawfare, lies and misinformation, or politics to get your way. It shouldn't be by any means necessary to get your way. I welcome debate, cross-checks, and honest discussion. It is also important that we show support for our Constitution of the Republic of the United States. With all the radical ideas floating around, we must get back to our country's basics, the Constitution, upon what this country was founded upon. There's confusion and other symptoms of societal decay and a general lack of understanding of foundational principles. We see that there are times for basic statements of fact and or confirmation. This agenda item is an example. Also, so that there can be no misunderstanding of these two constitutional amendments and where our fair city stands in support of them. I ask you to support this item. It's just disgusting what's going on in our whole country. We see the several tiers of justice that's supposed to be blind, and it's not. It's favoring the deterioration of our country, and there's too many idiots that are at the top that are screwing this up for many of us. And by reaffirming this, it just says that Huntington Beach is going to stand back and be strong with our very important foundation of the Constitution. That's all.
Councilmember Strickland.
I'd like to quote Martin Luther King Jr., "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." And so I will say a lot of injustice has gone on in this country, and people don't like it. And I will say I want to thank Councilman Burns, Mayor Pro Tem Burns, for bringing this forward because I think it's important that we protect our Constitution and that we let everybody know that this is a Constitution-friendly city. Thank you.
I'll just add that, we're a nation that's built on laws, and those laws have been shredded these last few years, and that directly results in a decaying society. So I have zero issue, obviously, with affirming my commitment and respect for the rule of law and the Constitution of the United States.
I do have no problem reaffirming my commitment, and it's blowing my mind that 3 people who were sworn in onto this council and they raised their hand and swore to protect and defend our Constitution walked out on this item. That's very telling.
Before our meeting was finished. They swore they'd serve the people, and they abandoned it before the meeting was adjourned. They have no respect. But again,
Call the question.
it's a campaign.
I'll second your motion.
Yeah. Pieces of
Okay.
shit. Pieces of
Okay.
shit. Pieces of
Okay.
shit.
Ready to vote?
Got it. All right. Councilmember Moser's absent. Bolton's absent. Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Aye.
Vandermark.
Yes.
Strickland.
Aye.
McKeon.
Aye.
Kalmick's absent, so it passes 4-3 with the 3 absent.
Thank
Motion
you.
to adjourn.
Motion and second.
We'll make it noted that they left and they were here, that they weren't absent for the whole meeting. I want to make it noted that they walked out before this vote specifically. I want that to be in the record.
Kobe.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned.